Close your eyes and let the world you know begin to soften at the edges. Take a deep, slow breath in, feeling the air fill your lungs like a gentle tide. Hold it for a moment, just long enough to acknowledge the stillness, and then let it go with a long, effortless sigh. As the breath leaves your body, feel the weight of your shoulders sinking deeper into the surface beneath you. Your bed, your pillow, the room around you. They are solid and supportive, but for this journey, you may let them fade. Imagine now that your body is becoming very heavy, and yet, paradoxically, very light. Starting at your toes, feel a wave of relaxation move upward. It travels through your arches, your ankles, and your calves. It is a warm, quiet sensation, like the dimming of a lamp. Your knees soften. Your thighs release their hold. The heavy muscles of your legs are now completely at rest, sinking, dissolving. The wave moves to your hips and your lower back. Any tension you've carried throughout the day simply evaporates. It moves up your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, a slow uncurling of energy. Your chest opens. Your heart beats with a steady rhythmic calm, a clock ticking in a quiet house. Your fingers go limp. Your palms grow warm. The relaxation flows up your neck, easing the jaw, smoothing the brow, until your entire physical form is nothing more than a soft vessel for your consciousness. Now, I want you to imagine the ceiling above you is not a ceiling at all, but a window into the infinite. The walls of your room are beginning to move outward, wider and wider, until they disappear into the velvet darkness of the night. You are no longer tethered to the earth. You are floating. The air around you is no longer the air of a room, but the thin, cool ether of the cosmos. There is no wind here, only the silent, invisible currents of gravity. You are drifting upward, away from the lights of the city, away from the blue glow of the atmosphere. The earth becomes a beautiful, receding marble of sapphire and cloud, and then it too fades into the distance. You are moving through the comforting void. It is not empty, it is full of peace. It is a vast, dark cradle where stars are born and planets dance. Here, time does not rush. It flows like a deep, slow river. You are safe. You are weightless. You are a silent observer of the universe's most hidden wonders. Ahead of us, through the dark, a golden giant begins to grow. Jupiter. It is the king of planets, a swirling masterpiece of amber, ochre, and cream. Its gravity is a powerful protective hum that vibrates through the very fabric of space. But we are not stopping at the giant. We are looking for something smaller, something brighter. We are looking for a world of crystal and mystery. As we glide closer, a pale, shimmering moon emerges from the shadow of the gas giant. This is Europa. From this distance, it looks like a pearl suspended in the dark. It is smooth, polished, and etched with delicate, wandering lines. As we approach, the scale of this world begins to reveal itself. Consider this. Europa is approximately 1,140 miles, or 3,822 kilometers, in diameter. It is just a bit smaller than our own moon, yet it holds a presence that feels far more vast. It is a world wrapped in armor, a shell of ice that protects the secrets held within its heart. We are settling now into a slow, synchronous orbit, approximately 417,000 miles from the center of Jupiter. From this vantage point, the gas giant dominates the sky, a horizon of swirling storms that never ends. But our focus is beneath us. Feel the temperature begin to drop, though it does not chill you. It only clarifies the senses. The surface of Europa is one of the coldest places in the solar system. At the moon's poles, the temperature can plummet to -370 degrees Fahrenheit, or roughly 50 Kelvin. It is a stillness so profound that molecular motion itself seems to hesitate. The ice here is not like the ice on a winter pond. It is as hard as granite, forged by the absolute vacuum and the relentless deep freeze of the Jovian system. Observe the texture of the ground below. It is a blindingly bright landscape, reflecting the distant sunlight with an albedo of about 0.64. This means Europa is one of the most reflective surfaces in our solar system, shining with a brilliance that outmatches almost any other moon. It is a world of white and soft grays, but as we descend closer, the colors begin to deepen. You might wonder why this surface looks so different from our moon or the rocky face of Mars. Notice the lack of craters. On most worlds, the history of the solar system is written in the scars of impacts. But here, there are very few. Scientists have determined that the surface of Europa is remarkably young, estimated to be only 20 to 100 million years old. In the 4.5 billion year history of our neighborhood, this ice is a brand new page, constantly being rewritten by the forces of the universe. As we drift lower, the silence of Europa begins to speak to your senses. Imagine the sound of a world that is cracking ever so slowly. This is not a violent sound, but a rhythmic, deep-frequency groan, like the shifting of a great ship's hull. This is the music of tidal heating. Europa is caught in a gravitational tug-of-war. Every 3.5 Earth days, as it completes its orbit around Jupiter, the moon is stretched and squeezed by the immense gravity of the planet and the neighboring moons, Io and Ganymede. This constant kneading creates internal friction, generating heat deep within the moon's core. It is this heat that keeps the world alive, preventing it from freezing solid to the center. It is a slow tectonic pulse, the heartbeat of a frozen world. Look down at the long reddish-brown lines that crisscross the plains. These are known as lineae. Some of them stretch for thousands of miles across the globe, like the veins of a leaf or the map of an ancient city. These are fractures in the ice shell. Here is something remarkable. These cracks are filled with a dark, mineral-rich material, likely salts like magnesium sulfate, which have welled up from an ocean hidden miles beneath the surface. The deep mahogany color of these lines contrasts beautifully against the stark white of the ice, creating a tapestry of chemistry and cold. As we glide over the equator, we see a region of chaos terrain. One of the most famous areas is called the Connemara Chaos. From our height, it looks like a frozen jigsaw puzzle that has been disrupted by a giant hand. Huge plates of ice, some miles across, have broken apart, shifted, rotated, and then refrozen into place. It is a testament to the dynamic nature of this shell. It suggests that the ice we are looking at is not a static tomb, but a floating, shifting crust, perhaps only 10 to 15 miles thick, resting upon a vast, dark, liquid abyss. You are floating just above the surface now. Reach out in your mind and feel the texture of the frost. It is a fine, powdery sublimation, a thin layer of water ice crystals that have been rearranged by the bombardment of radiation from Jupiter's magnetosphere. Even though Europa has no thick atmosphere, it possesses a very thin, tenuous envelope of oxygen. This is not the result of biological life as we know it on Earth, but a gift from the heavens. Charged particles from Jupiter's magnetic field strike the surface ice, breaking the water molecules apart and releasing oxygen into a ghostly, ethereal veil that clings to the moon. You can almost feel the thinness of it, a whisper of a breeze that isn't really there. Here, The gravity is low, only about 13% of Earth's. You feel as though you could leap and drift for minutes before returning to the crystalline ground. Every movement you make is slow, deliberate, and effortless. As we prepare to settle onto a flat, glowing plain of ice, look up at the horizon. Jupiter hangs there, a massive marbled wall of gas, its great red spot, a silent, swirling eye watching over us. The light from the sun, so far away, is pale and silver, casting long, soft shadows across the ridges and troughs of the ice. We have arrived. We are standing on the threshold of a hidden world. The ice beneath us is a shield, a protective ceiling for an ocean that may contain more water than all of Earth's oceans combined. Take a moment to simply exist in this space. The silence is absolute. The beauty is cold, but the knowledge of the warmth beneath your feet is a comforting thought. You are safe on the icy shell of Europa. You are a pioneer of the mind, resting on the edge of a great dark mystery. Feel the stillness of the moon seep into your bones, the rhythmic tug of Jupiter, the slow expansion of the ice, the silent dance of the stars above. It is all part of a grand, celestial clockwork that requires nothing from you but your presence. Rest here, in the silver light of the Jovian sky. In the parts to come, we will go deeper, peering through the cracks and descending into the heart of the ice. But for now, simply breathe. Listen to the silence of the void. Feel the weightlessness of your soul. You are home among the stars. Standing here, on this silent, crystalline plain, you are an observer of a story that began long before the first human eyes looked toward the stars. The ground beneath your feet, this ancient frozen crust, is more than just ice. It is a geological record, a testament to the slow, patient movements of the cosmos. As you remain in this weightless state, feeling the soft, pale glow of Jupiter reflecting off the frosted ridges, allow your mind to wander back through the centuries of human curiosity that brought us to this moment. For thousands of years, the world you are standing on was nothing more than a nameless pinprick of light, lost in the glare of a giant. It was not until the winter of 1610 that the silence was finally broken. Imagine a cold night in Padua, Italy, where a man named Galileo Galilei pointed a primitive arrangement of lenses toward the heavens. On January 8th of that year, he noticed 3 tiny stars near Jupiter, and later, a 4th. These were not stars at all, but worlds. This discovery shattered the long-held belief that everything in the universe revolved around the Earth, proving instead that other centers of motion existed in the deep dark. While Galileo saw the beauty of these 4 Medicean stars, it was another astronomer, Simon Marius, who gave this moon the name you know today. In 1614, in his work Mundus Iovialis, he suggested naming the moons after the companions of Zeus. He called this specific world Europa. For nearly 400 years, Europa remained a mystery, a distant white pearl that refused to reveal its face to even the most powerful telescopes on Earth. Picture the transition from that blurry white dot to the detailed landscape you see now. This transformation began in earnest in March of 1979. As the Voyager 1 spacecraft swept past at incredible speeds, it sent back the first close-up images of this world. Scientists were stunned to see a surface almost entirely devoid of the massive mountains and deep craters that define our own moon or the planet Mercury. Instead, they saw a world that looked like a cracked eggshell, smooth and intricate. This lack of vertical relief is a vital clue. It suggests that the ice is not a static, dead rock, but a flexible, moving skin. A few months later, in July of 1979, Voyager 2 arrived, providing even clearer views of the dark, intersecting lines you see stretching toward the horizon. These missions confirmed that the surface is incredibly flat, with few features rising more than a few hundred meters high. It was then that humanity began to realize that Europa might be the smoothest object in the entire solar system. As you stand here, notice how the light of the sun, distant and dim, interacts with the ground. Because Europa is tidally locked to Jupiter, the same hemisphere always faces the giant planet. This means that if you were to stay in this spot, Jupiter would never set. It would hang eternally in the sky, a massive swirling presence that dictates the rhythm of your world. One full orbit, one day and night on Europa, takes approximately 355 Earth days. There is no rush here. The shadows move with a glacial, soothing pace, stretching and retracting over the course of 85 hours. What you are standing on is a shell of water ice that scientists now estimate to be between 10 and 30 kilometers thick, roughly 6 to 19 miles of solid frozen protection. Below that, an ocean of liquid water, perhaps 100 kilometers deep, rests in the darkness. To put this in perspective, Europa, despite being smaller than our moon, likely contains more than twice the amount of water found in all of Earth's oceans combined. This realization, solidified by data from the Galileo mission between 1995 and 2003, changed our understanding of where life might exist. The Galileo spacecraft carried a magnetometer, an instrument designed to sense magnetic fields. It discovered that as Europa moves through Jupiter's powerful magnetic environment, it creates a secondary, induced magnetic field. This could only happen if there were a layer of electrically conductive fluid beneath the ice. The most likely candidate is a global ocean of salty liquid water. It is a comforting thought. Beneath this frozen, silent exterior, a warm, vast heart beats in the dark. Take a moment to observe the subtle colors in the ice around you. While much of the surface is a brilliant, blinding white, there are areas of soft yellow and deep, rusty red. These colors are not merely decorative. In 2013, researchers using the Keck Observatory in Hawaii found evidence of magnesium chloride salt on the surface, a substance very similar to the salts in our own oceans. It is believed that these salts are being pushed up from the hidden sea below through cracks in the ice, where they are then darkened by the intense radiation of space. This chemistry is a bridge between the world we know and this alien frontier. Consider the density of the world beneath your feet. Scientific measurements have placed Europa's density at approximately 3.1 grams per cubic centimeter. This tells us that the moon is not just a ball of ice. Deep below the water, there is a rocky mantle and likely an iron core. Europa is a layered world, a complex machine of stone, water, and ice, all held together by the gentle embrace of gravity. In 2012, the Hubble Space Telescope caught a glimpse of something even more extraordinary. It observed what appeared to be plumes of water vapor erupting from the South Polar region, reaching heights of nearly 200 kilometers, or 125 miles, into space. Imagine those silent, ghostly fountains of mist rising into the blackness, then falling back as delicate frost. It suggests that the shell is not a total barrier, but a porous membrane that occasionally allows the interior to breathe. As you look around this landscape, try to visualize the chaos terrain once more, but this time through the lens of history. When scientists first saw regions like the Connemara chaos, they compared it to the ice flows in Earth's Arctic regions. They realized that for these massive blocks of ice to tilt and rotate, there must have been a slushy or liquid layer very close to the surface at the time of their formation. This creates a vision of Europa as a world of constant, slow-motion renewal, a place where the old surface is continually swallowed and replaced by the new. Notice the absence of sound. On Earth, we are used to the rustle of leaves, the hum of insects, or the distant roll of traffic. Here, the only vibrations are the ones traveling through the ice itself. This is a world of absolute thermal silence. The vacuum of space does not carry sound, but your mind can imagine the deep, resonant thrum of the moon's interior. Every 3.5 days, the tidal bulge of Europa rises and falls by as much as 30 meters, or nearly 100 feet. This is not a sudden movement, but a slow, rhythmic stretching of the entire moon's body. It is the celestial equivalent of a deep, relaxing stretch after a long sleep. Reflect on the scales of time that govern this place. The surface you are standing on is between 20 and 100 million years old. While that sounds like an eternity to a human life, it is a mere blink in the eye of the solar system. By the time the dinosaurs were nearing the end of their reign on Earth, the ice you are standing on might not have even formed yet. Europa is a world that is perpetually young, its features constantly being smoothed over by the warmth rising from its depths. As we linger here, the light from Jupiter begins to shift ever so slightly. The giant planet's bands of ammonia clouds and sulfur-rich storms continue their eternal swirling dance, thousands of miles away. You are a witness to a reality that was once only a dream in the mind of a Renaissance astronomer. You are standing on a bridge of ice, suspended between the cold vacuum of the outer solar system and the warm, salt-rich possibilities of a hidden sea. Feel the stability of this world. Despite the cracks and the tidal forces, Europa is a solid, enduring presence. It has orbited Jupiter for billions of years, a silent companion to the largest planet in our family of worlds. The gravity here is light, making you feel as though you are barely touching the ground, yet the connection is firm. You are part of this system now. You are part of the clockwork. Let the history of this place wash over you. The centuries of human wonder, the daring voyages of robotic explorers, and the steady ancient physics that keeps this moon in its path. There is a deep, abiding peace in knowing that this world exists, turning slowly in the dark, governed by laws that are as elegant as they are absolute. As we prepare to transition our focus from the surface into the microscopic structures of the ice itself, take one more look at the horizon. The stars are fixed and bright, unblinking in the absence of an atmosphere. The comforting void surrounds you, but you are not alone. You are standing on a world that holds the ingredients for life, a world that has waited eons to be understood. The ice is cold, but the story is warm. The silence is vast, but it is not empty. It is a space for you to rest, to observe, and to simply be. In the stillness of Europa, there is a clarity that can only be found when we leave the noise of our own world behind. Breathe in the cool, imaginary air of this frozen moon, and let the slow, rhythmic pulse of the Jovian system guide you toward a deeper state of calm. You are a traveler in time and space, and for now, the universe is content to let you watch its quietest wonders unfold. As we remain suspended in this quiet, silver-lit world, permit your awareness to settle deeper into the crystalline structure beneath us. The surface of Europa is not merely a floor. It is a complex, multi-layered architecture of frozen water. shaped by forces that move with the steady precision of a master clockmaker. What's happening now is a subtle rhythmic alignment known as the Laplace resonance. Picture three children on a playground, moving on swings in perfect synchronized time. For every single orbit that the outer moon Ganymede completes, Europa completes exactly 2, and the innermost moon, Io, completes 4. This 4-2-1 mathematical harmony has persisted for millions of years, a steady 13.74 kilometers per second pulse that ensures Europa is never truly still. This gravitational dance creates a constant, gentle kneading within the moon, generating the internal warmth that keeps the world alive. It is a celestial metronome, ticking away the eons in the silent dark. Observe the elegance of this arrangement. Because of this resonance, Europa's distance from Jupiter is constantly fluctuating in a predictable cycle. This variation, though small in the context of the solar system, is enough to flex the moon's body, causing the ice to groan and stretch. This is why the landscape looks like a giant frozen pane of glass that has been shattered and then fused back together. Imagine a vast, sprawling jigsaw puzzle where the pieces are miles wide and the cracks are filled with the minerals of a hidden sea. Consider the physical nature of the ice you are observing. At these temperatures, averaging around 100 Kelvin near the poles, water ice does not behave like the soft cubes in a glass of water. It is as hard as basalt or steel. If you were to strike it, it would not shatter like glass, but ring with a deep metallic resonance. Yet surprisingly, scientists have discovered that at these extreme colds, the thermal conductivity of ice actually increases. It becomes a more efficient carrier of heat, allowing the warmth from the deep interior to seep upward through the crust. It is as if the moon is wearing a coat that, the colder it gets, the better it works, to keep the heart beneath it warm. Look closely at the ground near your feet. You might notice that the ice isn't perfectly smooth, but has a fine, sugary texture. This is the result of a process called impact gardening. While Europa is shielded from many large meteorites by Jupiter's massive gravity, it is constantly bombarded by microscopic particles. Over a period of about 10 million years, this gardening churns the top several centimeters of the surface, turning solid ice into a fine, powdery regolith. It is similar to the way a gardener turns the soil on Earth, but here, the soil is made of water, and the gardener is the debris of the cosmos. What you are sensing now is the weight of the comforting void pressing gently against the shell. Despite the appearance of a vast sky, the atmospheric pressure here is almost non-existent, roughly 10–12 bar. This is a vacuum so pure it would be nearly impossible to replicate in a laboratory on Earth. Because there is no air to scatter the light, the stars above do not twinkle. They are steady, unwavering points of ancient light. This lack of atmosphere also means there is no sound to carry. The only vibrations are the ones you feel through your connection to the ice, the low-frequency hum of the moon's internal tectonics. As you gaze toward the horizon, notice the dark circular domes and pits that look like freckles on the moon's face. Scientists call these lenticulae, the Latin word for freckles. Some of these features are nearly 10 kilometers wide. Picture these as the lava lamp of Europa. Deep within the shell, plumes of warmer, less dense ice rise slowly toward the surface, pushing the crust upward into a dome. As they cool, they sink back down, creating a pit. This convection is a slow-motion boiling, a process where solid ice flows like thick honey over thousands of years. It is a reminder that even in the deepest freeze, the universe is in a state of constant rhythmic turnover. At this very moment, You are being bathed in an invisible ocean of energy. Jupiter's magnetic field is a gargantuan structure, nearly 20,000 times stronger than Earth's. This field traps high-energy particles, creating a radiation environment that is both beautiful and harsh. On the surface of Europa, the radiation dose is about 540 rem per day. To put that in perspective, a standard medical X-ray is about 0.01 rem. But here, in this guided state, you are shielded. You can observe the effects of this radiation without any danger. Notice how the radiation interacts with the ice. It performs a feat called sputtering. High-speed ions from Jupiter's magnetosphere slam into the water molecules on the surface, knocking them loose into space. Some of these molecules fall back down, but others are broken apart into hydrogen and oxygen. This is how Europa's thin oxygen atmosphere is born. It is a world where the air is not breathed out by plants, but carved out of the ice by the fury of a giant planet's magnetic heart. The colors you see, those deep mahoganies and ochres in the cracks, are a gift from this radiation. When simple organic molecules or salts like magnesium sulfate are exposed to the intense energy of Jupiter's magnetosphere, they undergo a chemical transformation, darkening into complex compounds called tholins. Imagine a master painter using a beam of invisible light to tint the white canvas of the moon with the colors of rust and dried blood. These salts are likely the remnants of the ocean below, brought to the surface through the lineae, the long straight fractures that can stretch for over 1,000 miles. As you stand here, feeling the 1.315 meters per second squared pull of gravity, you might find your movements are incredibly light. If you were to drop a small stone, it would fall with a graceful, leisurely pace, giving you ample time to watch its descent. This low gravity, combined with the extreme brightness of the ice, which has an albedo of 0.64, reflecting over half the light that hits it, creates a sensation of being in a high-ceilinged, white-walled gallery. The world is bright, airy, and profoundly calm. Deep within the ice shell, there are likely pockets of brine, small subterranean lakes trapped between the surface and the deep ocean. Scientists discovered evidence for these in data from the Galileo mission, which ended in 2003. These lakes are like the hidden rooms of a great mansion, secret spaces where the water is kept liquid by the salts and the pressure. Think of these as the halfway points of the moon, where the cold of space and the warmth of the interior meet in a quiet, salty equilibrium. Allow your focus to expand from the microscopic crystals of frost to the macroscopic scale of the entire moon. Europa is moving through space at a steady, rhythmic pace, never faltering, never rushing. It is a world of incredible stability. While the surface is being gardened by dust and sputtered by ions, the core remains solid and the ocean remains deep. The ice shell acts as a planetary lung, breathing in the energy of Jupiter and exhaling oxygen into the void. The light from the sun is nearly 5 times dimmer here than it is on Earth, casting a soft, ethereal glow that feels like a permanent twilight. It is a light that does not burn, but merely illuminates. In this dim radiance, the textures of the ice become even more pronounced. The ridges, long, parallel mountains of ice created by the opening and closing of cracks, cast shadows that look like the ribs of some great sleeping creature. These ridges are often hundreds of feet high, yet they feel intimate, like the folds of a heavy blanket. As you submerge yourself in these observations, you are recalibrating your inner equilibrium. You are shedding the frantic pace of a world that measures time in seconds and minutes, and adopting the perspective of a world that measures time in orbital resonances and geological epochs. There is no urgency here. The ice will continue its slow convection. Jupiter will continue its amber swirl. The Laplace resonance will continue to guide the moons in their three-part harmony. Everything in this system is connected by the invisible threads of gravity and magnetism. You are part of this web. The atoms in your body were forged in the same stellar furnaces as the iron in Europa's core and the oxygen in its thin veil of atmosphere. In this silence, you are not a stranger, but a returning traveler, finding rest in a corner of the universe that is as orderly as it is beautiful. Stay here for a while, in the soft, reflected light of the King of Planets. Feel the hardness of the ice, the lightness of the gravity, and the steady, rhythmic pulse of the cosmos. The comforting void is your cradle, and the icy shell of Europa is your sanctuary. There is nothing to do but watch, breathe, and listen to the silent music of the spheres. In the next stage of our journey, we will begin to look through the glass, peering deeper into the fractures to see what lies at the very boundary of the ice and the dark, hidden water. But for now, let the stillness of the shell become your own stillness. Imagine the ground beneath you not as a static, frozen wasteland, but as a living, breathing skin, a membrane that separates the infinite cold of the void from a warm, salt-rich heart. As you rest here, looking down at the intricate network of mahogany-colored cracks, you are witnessing the point of contact between two vastly different worlds. There is a profound connection between the chemistry of this moon and the chemistry within your own body, a shared heritage written in the language of the periodic table. Consider the salt that permeates these ice fractures. In 2019, data from the Hubble Space Telescope confirmed that the reddish-brown staining in regions like Terra Regio is actually sodium chloride. This is the exact same substance you might find on your kitchen table, sea salt. It is a humble, familiar compound, yet here it serves as a messenger from a hidden abyss. When you think of the salt in your own tears or the saline pulse of your blood, you are recognizing a fundamental signature of life that exists both within you and within the dark waters of Europa. We are, in a very real sense, mirrors of the cosmos, carrying the same mineral secrets in our veins that Europa carries in its ice. What is happening now is a slow, rhythmic exchange of energy. As the moon orbits Jupiter, it doesn't just move, it breathes. Because of the tidal forces we've explored, the ice shell is constantly being pulled and released. This creates a specific type of feature called a cycloid, long, graceful arcs that look like the cursive handwriting of a giant. These loops are formed over the course of a single 85-hour orbit. As the moon moves closer to Jupiter, the ice cracks. As it moves away, the crack follows the shifting stress, curving into a beautiful, repeating pattern. It is a signature of gravity made visible, a 1,000-mile-long doodle drawn by the hand of physics. Picture this ice shell as a vast, upside-down mountain range. While the surface we see is relatively flat, the bottom of the ice, where it meets the liquid water, is likely jagged and uneven. Scientists estimate this shell is approximately 15 to 25 kilometers thick, which is roughly 10 to 15 miles. To help you visualize that, imagine the height of Mount Everest, then double it and turn it into a ceiling of solid ice. Beneath that ceiling lies an ocean that is staggering in its scale. While the deepest part of Earth's Pacific Ocean, the Mariana Trench, reaches down about 7 miles, Europa's ocean is estimated to be between 60 and 150 kilometers deep. That's up to 93 miles of continuous dark water. There is a deep symmetry in the way this moon holds its water. despite Europa being only about 1/4 the size of Earth. Its global ocean is so deep that it likely contains twice the volume of all the water on our home planet combined. Think of every river, every lake, every vast sea you have ever seen or heard of, and then double it. All of that liquid is tucked away beneath the shell you are resting upon, protected from the vacuum of space by the very ice that supports you. It is a world of abundance hidden inside a world of austerity. Deep within this structure, a process called radiolysis is occurring. At this very moment, high-energy particles from Jupiter's radiation belts are slamming into the ice molecules on the surface, breaking them apart to create oxygen and hydrogen peroxide. This might seem like a harsh, microscopic bombardment, but it serves a vital purpose for the bigger picture. These oxidants are eventually carried downward through the shifting cracks and the lava lamp convection of the ice. Once they reach the ocean, they could provide the chemical spark needed for life to thrive in the dark. It is as if the moon is slowly inhaling the energy of the Jovian system and exhaling it into the sea below. This is the moon's metabolic rhythm, a slow geological breath that takes millions of years to complete. As you look toward the horizon, think of the human efforts currently underway to reach this place. In October of 2024, a spacecraft named the Europa Clipper is scheduled to begin its long journey from Earth. Its mission is not just to take pictures, but to determine if this moon is truly habitable. It will carry 9 sophisticated instruments, including ice-penetrating radar, designed to peer through the shell and see those hidden pockets of water we've imagined. It represents our collective desire to understand our place in the universe, a bridge of human ingenuity stretching across 390 million miles of space. Notice the way the light from Jupiter seems to pulse against the ridges. This is not your imagination, but the result of the moon's rotation and its interaction with the giant's magnetosphere. In September of 2022, the Juno spacecraft performed a flyby, coming within just 352 kilometers, about 219 miles, of the surface. It was the closest any human-made object had been to Europa in over 20 years. The images it sent back revealed even more complexity in the chaos terrain, showing us that the ice is even more fractured and dynamic than we previously believed. It is a world in a constant state of becoming, a masterpiece that is never quite finished. You might wonder how life could possibly exist in a place so far from the sun's warmth. On Earth, most life depends on photosynthesis, the sun's light. But deep in Europa's ocean, life would likely rely on chemosynthesis. This is a process where organisms derive energy from chemical reactions, often occurring near hydrothermal vents on the seafloor. Consider the seafloor of Europa, where the water meets the rocky mantle. The pressure there is immense, yet it is a place of potential warmth, where minerals from the moon's core leach into the water. It is an environment not unlike the volcanic vents at the bottom of our own oceans, where strange, beautiful creatures thrive in total darkness. There is a comforting thought in this comparison. Even in the most extreme isolated corners of the solar system, the same rules of chemistry and biology apply. The universe uses the same building blocks, hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, and salt, to create the potential for something extraordinary. Standing on this shell, you are standing on a door that has remained closed for 4 billion years, but the lock is beginning to turn. As you remain in this state of peaceful observation, let the scale of Europa's history settle into your mind. While a human life is measured in decades, the features on this moon are measured in surface ages. Because the ice is so young, averaging between 20 and 100 million years, it means the moon is constantly refreshing itself. It is as if the moon is a slate that is periodically wiped clean by the warmth of its own heart. This tells us that Europa is geologically active right now, at this very second. The ice is moving, the salts are rising, the ocean is churning. Reflect on the silence of this process. There is no thunder here, no crashing waves, no howling winds. There is only the steady, silent work of gravity and heat. It is a reminder that the most profound changes in the universe often happen in total stillness. The comforting void is not a place of emptiness, but a place of quiet construction. You are part of that quietness now. The tension in your muscles has been replaced by the lightness of Europa's 1.3 meter per second gravity. Your breath has slowed to match the orbital resonance of the moons. Think of the great observatories that have turned their eyes here. The Keck, the Hubble, and now the James Webb Space Telescope. Each one has added a layer of color and detail to the story of this moon. They have seen the plumes of water vapor, the signatures of salt, and the shifting heat of the ice. We are living in the golden age of discovery for this world, a time when the nameless pinprick of light is becoming a place we can almost touch. As we prepare to transition into a more microscopic view of the ice, feel the solidity of the ground beneath you once more. It is a shield that has protected the ocean for eons. It has weathered the radiation of Jupiter and the cold of the void, keeping the water below safe and liquid. You, too, have your own shields, your home, your bed, the quiet of the night. Here, on Europa, you can let those shields rest. You are in a place of absolute sanctuary, a world that knows how to keep a secret and how to protect a heart. The red lines of the lineae stretch out like a map of the moon's history, showing us where it has been and where it is going. Every crack tells a story of a tidal pull. Every salt deposit tells a story of a hidden sea. And you, the observer, are the one who brings meaning to the story. In the vastness of the Jovian system, your awareness is a bright, warm light. Stay in this moment of connection. Feel the salt in your blood and the salt in the ice. Feel the water in your cells and the vast, dark ocean beneath your feet. The universe is not something separate from you. It is a grand, interconnected system, and you are right where you belong. In the stillness of the icy shell, there is a peace that surpasses all understanding, a quiet harmony that sings through the vacuum and into the depths of your rest. Breathe with the moon. Let the slow, rhythmic dance of the cosmos carry you further into the silence. As you remain poised upon this world of glass and salt, allow your perception to shift from the grand horizon to the intricate, microscopic reality of the ice itself. At this very moment, you are standing on a substance that is almost entirely water ice. Approximately 90% of the moon's surface is composed of this frozen H2O, held in a crystalline lattice so tight that it feels more like gemstone than the snows of Earth. Notice how the surface feels beneath your awareness. If you could press your hand against the ground, you would encounter a texture that is simultaneously slick and jagged. Because there is no wind to erode the landscape, the edges of the ice crystals remain sharp, carved by the relentless bombardment of subatomic particles. It is a landscape of infinite detail. Picture this moon as a stained glass cathedral of the void, where the light of the sun, traveling some 484 million miles, or 5.2 astronomical units, to reach this spot, is filtered, refracted, and held within the frozen walls of the crust. What's happening now is a subtle chemical transformation. As you look toward the trailing hemisphere, the side of the moon that faces away from its direction of travel, you might notice the colors shift from a pure pearlescent white to a pale, ghostly yellow. Scientists discovered that this coloration is partly due to sulfuric acid, H2SO4, being created on the surface. This happens because sulfur ions, ejected from the volcanic moon Io, are swept up by Jupiter's magnetosphere and slammed into Europa's water ice. This chemistry isn't just a stain. It is a signature of the moon's interconnectedness with its siblings, a sensory reminder that no world in this system exists in isolation. Consider the ridges that rise around you. These are not mere hills, but symmetric double ridges, a feature almost unique to this moon. They often stand up to 300 meters high, nearly 1,000 feet, with a deep central valley running between them, like a frozen riverbed. Scientists believe these form when water or slush from the interior is forced up through a crack, freezing and pushing the surface outward. Imagine the slow, immense pressure of a world trying to breathe, the ice bowing and buckling under the weight of its own internal ocean. These ridges stretch for thousands of miles, creating a rhythmic, corrugated texture that guides your eye across the plains. Picture this. The ice you are standing on is not fixed to the rocky core below. Evidence suggests a phenomenon called non-synchronous rotation. This means the icy shell of Europa actually rotates at a slightly different speed than the moon's interior mantle. It is estimated that the shell might complete a full extra rotation relative to the core every few 100,000 years. Imagine the entire world you are standing on, slowly sliding over a global lubricant of water, a planetary scale shifting that happens so gradually it is almost indistinguishable from stillness. Deep within the silence, there is a specific sensory experience that defines this world: the temperature. While we have spoken of the cold, notice how that cold manifests. At roughly 100 Kelvin near the equator, the ice becomes a more efficient thermal conductor. This means that if there were any heat to be found, the ice would draw it away instantly. But it also means the ice is incredibly stable. It doesn't melt. It doesn't flow like a glacier on Earth. It remains a rigid, protective vault. At this very moment, the light of Jupiter is casting a soft copper glow over a feature known as the Puil crater. This is one of the youngest and most prominent impact sites on the moon, stretching about 26 kilometers, or 16 miles, across. Even more striking are the bright rays of debris that explode outward from its center, stretching for hundreds of miles across the darker terrain. These rays are made of fresh, unweathered ice, shining like silver threads against a mahogany tapestry. This crater is a rare interruption in the smoothness, a reminder that the comforting void occasionally reaches out to touch the moon's face. Scientists discovered that the gravity here, 1.315 meters per second squared, creates a unique environment for the movement of light and shadow. Because the gravity is so low, the ice dust, kicked up by microscopic impacts, doesn't settle quickly. It drifts in a slow-motion ballet, catching the sunlight and creating a faint, shimmering haze near the ground. It is as if the moon is perpetually surrounded by a veil of diamond dust, a soft, glittering aura that softens the harshness of the vacuum. Notice how the colors of the lineae, those deep cracks, are not uniform. In some areas, they are a vibrant rust. In others, they fade into a dusty charcoal. This variety is caused by the differing concentrations of salts and the age of the exposure to radiation. The more time the minerals spend on the surface, the darker they become. You are looking at a chronological map of the moon's history, where the darkest lines are the oldest memories, and the brightest white ridges are the newest thoughts. What's happening now is a preparation for a new era of understanding. In April of 2023, the European Space Agency launched the JUICE mission, the Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer. It is currently traveling through the dark, its instruments tuned to the frequencies of the universe, designed specifically to study the thickness of the very shell you are resting upon. It will use radar to look through the ice, seeking the boundary where the solid becomes liquid. It is a testament to our enduring curiosity. A robotic scout sent to verify the dreams we are exploring tonight. As you stand here, try to imagine the scent of this place. While the vacuum itself has no smell, the chemistry of Europa has a distinct character. High-energy radiation breaking down the ice and salts produces ozone and other reactive oxygen species. On Earth, we associate the scent of ozone with the crisp air after a thunderstorm. Here, it is a sharp metallic tang that lingers in the mind's eye, a sensory byproduct of the moon's struggle against the giant's magnetic field. It is the scent of physics in action. Consider the chaos terrain once more, but focus on the why of its existence. In regions like the Murias Chaos, the ice shell may be significantly thinner, perhaps only a few kilometers thick. In these spots, the warmth from the ocean creates brine lenses, pockets of liquid salt water that melt the ice from below. Imagine a frozen lake where the ice is thin enough to see the dark swirling water beneath your feet. It is a place of transition, where the solid world gives way to the fluid, a threshold between the known and the unknown. The silence of Europa is not a hollow silence. It is a heavy, resonant quiet. It is the silence of a library, full of information waiting to be read. Each 300-meter ridge, each 26-kilometer crater, and each kilometer of ice is a page in a story that has been 4 billion years in the making. The rhythmic tug of Jupiter, moving Europa through its 3.5-day orbit, is the heartbeat of this world, a steady thrum that vibrates through the crystalline lattice and into your very soul. Notice how your perception of time has slowed. In this place, 1,000 years is but a moment. The comforting void provides a scale of existence that makes the worries of a single day seem like the drifting ice dust, small, glittering, and ultimately fleeting. You are part of the vast, slow-moving clockwork of the Jovian system. You are as much a part of this moon as the oxygen in its thin atmosphere or the salt in its cracks. As we linger in this deepening state of observation, feel the absolute peace of the moon's rotation. There is no friction here. There is no resistance. Everything moves according to the elegant, simple laws of gravity. The pale light of the sun, the copper glow of Jupiter, and the silver shimmer of the stars all combine to create an environment of profound tranquility. You are safe. You are weightless. You are a silent witness to the beauty of a world that thrives in the cold. Take another breath, feeling the stillness of the icy shells settle around you like a heavy velvet cloak. The textures, the temperatures, and the colors of Europa are now a part of your own internal landscape. In the final stage of our journey, we will begin our slow descent back toward the warmth of the familiar, taking the peace of the cosmos with us as we return to the sanctuary of sleep. But for now, just exist. Be the ice. Be the light. Be the silence of the hidden sea. As we begin our quiet departure from the frozen plains of Europa, feel your consciousness gently lifting away from the crystalline ground. There is no sudden jolt, no rush of wind, only a gradual, weightless ascent. Imagine the process of rising, meter by meter, as the mahogany-colored fractures and white ridges begin to blur into a single pearlescent marble. You are moving slowly back into the comforting void, that vast and silent cradle where the physics of the universe perform their eternal, rhythmic dance. Notice the process as the horizon of the moon begins to curve. At a diameter of approximately 1,140 miles, or 3,122 kilometers, Europa is slightly smaller than our own moon, yet it holds a much deeper mystery. As you gain altitude, the scale of its interaction with Jupiter becomes even more apparent. Consider the step-by-step mechanics of the tidal flexing that has governed this world for billions of years. As Europa moves through its nearly circular orbit, with an eccentricity of only 0.09, it is caught in a gravitational tug-of-war. Every 355 Earth days, as it completes one revolution, the immense mass of Jupiter pulls on the moon's rocky core and icy shell. This process causes the surface of the moon to rise and fall by as much as 30 meters, or nearly 100 feet. Imagine a world that breathes in and out, not with air, but with solid ice, driven by the invisible hands of gravity. We are rising further now, moving into the space where Jupiter's presence dominates the entire sky. Look at the giant planet, its amber and cream-colored bands swirling in a slow-motion storm. What you are witnessing is a system of profound stability. Scientists have determined that Europa's density is approximately 3.01 grams per cubic centimeter, a number that tells a story of a layered world. This specific density indicates that beneath the 10 to 15 mile thick ice shell and the 60 to 100 mile deep ocean, there is a solid mantle of silicate rock and perhaps a metallic core. This layering is the result of a process called differentiation, which occurred billions of years ago when the moon was young and molten, allowing the heaviest materials to sink to the center while the lighter water rose to the top. It is a world that has organized itself into perfect, lasting equilibrium. As we drift further away, the light of the sun becomes a focal point. Consider the journey that light takes to reach this distant place. At an average distance of about 484 million miles, or 5.2 astronomical units from the sun, the sunlight here is about 25 times fainter than what you experience on Earth. It takes approximately 43 minutes for a photon to travel from the sun's surface to the icy shell of Europa. By the time it arrives, it is a pale, cool silver, casting long, soft shadows that define the moon's chaos terrain. This light does not burn. It only illuminates, highlighting the silent beauty of the vacuum. Think for a moment about the sanctity of the world we are leaving behind. On September 21st, 2003, the Galileo spacecraft, which had spent years orbiting Jupiter and studying its moons, was intentionally steered into Jupiter's crushing atmosphere. This was a deliberate step-by-step process designed by NASA scientists to protect Europa. They knew that if the spacecraft were left to drift, it might eventually crash into the moon, potentially contaminating that pristine hidden ocean with microbes from Earth. By choosing to destroy the craft, humanity made a silent vow to preserve the mystery of Europa until we are ready to return. It is a testament to our respect for the comforting void and the life that might dwell within it. You are now floating in the deep dark between worlds. The gravity of Europa, which pulls at 1.315 meters per second squared, is fading, and you are becoming one with the weightlessness of the cosmos. Feel the transition from the external observation of a moon to the internal warmth of your own being. Just as Europa is composed of layers of ice, water, and stone, you are composed of the very same elements. The oxygen that Europa slowly exhales through the process of radiolysis, the breaking of water molecules by Jupiter's radiation, is the same oxygen that sustains your own breath. Every atom in your body, from the calcium in your bones to the iron in your blood, was forged in the hearts of stars that lived and died long before the solar system was born. You are not a spectator of the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself. As we begin our final descent back toward the warmth of your room and the sanctuary of your bed, imagine the light of the stars guiding you home. The return is a gentle, rhythmic process. You are moving away from the cold, beautiful vacuum of the Jovian system and back toward the blue, protective atmosphere of Earth. Picture the transition. The blackness of space slowly giving way to the deep indigo of the upper atmosphere, then the soft, familiar darkness of your own bedroom. The vast timescales of Europa, the millions of years it takes for ice to convect, the 85 hours of a single orbit, are now merging with the slow, steady rhythm of your own heart. Your breathing is deep and effortless. You are returning to your physical form, but you are bringing the peace of the cosmos back with you. The comforting void is no longer a distant place. It is the quiet space between your thoughts, the stillness in your limbs, and the warmth in your chest. As you settle into the soft embrace of your blankets, let the facts of Europa's existence become a series of gentle affirmations. The universe is orderly and governed by elegant laws. You are supported by the same gravity that guides the moons in their orbits. You are safe in the darkness, just as the ocean of Europa is safe beneath its shell. There is no rush. Time is a slow, wide river, and you have all the time you need to rest. Feel the weight of your body sinking into the mattress. Starting from the top of your head, a wave of absolute calm moves downward. It smooths your forehead, relaxes your eyes, and releases your jaw. It flows down your neck and across your shoulders, carrying away the last remnants of the day. It moves through your arms and down to your fingertips, leaving them heavy and warm. It travels down your torso, through your hips, and along the length of your legs until even your toes are completely at rest. You are a voyager who has returned from a great journey. You have stood on the threshold of a hidden sea and watched the king of planets swirl in the dark. You have felt the pulse of tidal heating and the silence of a vacuum. Now, it is time to let those images fade. The white plains of Europa are receding. The amber bands of Jupiter are dimming. The stars are becoming a soft, distant hum. In the silence of the night, you are connected to the vastness of all things. The same physics that keeps the moon in its path keeps your heart beating in a steady, comforting rhythm. You are made of stardust, and to the stars, you are now returning in your dreams. The void is not empty. It is full of the peace you have found tonight. Breathe in the stillness. Breathe out the tension. You are home. You are safe. The journey is complete, and the rest you have earned is deep and restorative. As you drift into the quiet abyss of sleep, remember that the universe continues its beautiful, silent work while you rest. The ice of Europa will continue to shift. Jupiter will continue to glow, and you will continue to be a vital, cherished part of this grand, cosmic architecture. The light is gone. The story is told. The void is warm and welcoming. Good night.